Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well today on 11/11. Just so happens it is 11/11. And I'm going to share that exercise for it's a much deeper exercise to do with other people in your life than the one I shared on YouTube. And the one I shared on YouTube was more about communication blocks, that energy that keeps us from communicating easily and freely. And today the one we're going to do is going to be a lot deeper. It's connecting with the essence of the other person, light realm to light realm. And so before I do that, I want to get back full circle and just start by saying that the most important thing always is that relationship with yourself. It's always good to bring ourselves back to that. Given the energy on the planet, everything we're going through, we're all going through a lot of transformation here, obviously. But, it's always a good place to come back to within yourself to have that full and total acceptance of yourself. So I want to start with that today, just to get us into that space. And so just take a moment, shake out if you got any tight shoulders or anything tight, your jaw, and let's all take a nice deep breath into our belly. And then exhale through your mouth, just releasing any tension, any stress, coming back to that relationship with yourself. Some people call it self-love. I really say 100% accepting yourself is the most important thing. And if you looked at the videos that I made talking about other people, leaving the other person in the relationship feeling ungrounded as we continue to change and evolve, well, part of that is if you're listening here, then you're also continuously evolving and expanding. And it's not always going to be received well by other people. It just isn't. And not only that, the more we go into our isness, into our pure consciousness, the less we fit into all the little boxes of society. And, the truth of the matter is when you see anyone in the world, every other human being, the minute they look at you, it's like their computer processor goes boop, 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 and it's doing thousands of calculations, all their belief systems, all their memories, everything in their subpsyche. If you're a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, they might have had a mean teacher in grade school that had short blonde hair and blue eyes, and they might not like you right off the bat. So it's important to recognize that this is the world we live in and accept it for what it is. Welcome to Earth. We're in this human form. We are not this human form, but this is the play of duality. So because every person essentially that you meet instantaneously judges you, not consciously, but it is just the way that we're built, it is very, very, very important to maintain your own self-respect, self-honoring, self-acceptance, and it's really that not compromising within yourself and not giving your power away to other people and to the outside world, and sometimes even to your own mind and ego that likes to judge you, right? So if you've got any of those tendencies about what you should be doing, could be doing, ought to be doing, maybe in your relationships or in your job or whatever, you should do better, could do better, blah, 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 or maybe in the future it's what about this, what about that, what you got to do. There tends to be a ton of pressure to achieve, to do better, to try harder, to work harder, to be better. And most people that get into the kind of like spiritual awakening, it's like there's an intent of being in alignment with your soul, your essence. And then we live in this world of fighting and duality and judgment, and that can be very hard to balance. In fact, I would say you can't really balance it. What you can do is take a breath, and just accept yourself fully, completely, and wholly, because your true essence, your creator benevolence, when you look through your real eyes, the eyes of your heart, that portal to all that is, those real eyes, the real you, your essence, you look at this life, at your body, at every life and say, you've always been perfect. Everything you've ever done has been perfect. Every time you lied, whatever, it was perfect because it was this evolution. It is this play of consciousness. So just take a moment and really breathe it in. Feel that full and complete and absolute, unconditional acceptance for yourself. And your mind, the ego, the mind might have a bunch of arguments about that. That's fine. We recognize, I'm not this mind, I'm not this thoughts, I'm not any of this. I'm this essence, this unconditional love, you can call it. So, being your own best friend is the first relationship. And as we evolve, once again, we're going to leave people, we'll say they will come back to test us. They will, even a lot of soul agreements really have to do with getting us to love ourselves, to honor ourselves, not to give our power away, not to buy into other people's games. So keep that in mind. And then we'll go into our exercise. So just before we start, take another deep breath of that self-love, self-acceptance. I'm not as big of a fan of the word self-love because love can be a 4-letter word here on this planet, like control or fluffy, like I'm going to go buy myself a present, which is great. If you want to do that, awesome. But the first thing is to just really, really accept yourself and your divine perfection. Divine perfection is not, I'm perfect because. You're perfect because you exist. It couldn't be any other way. It's no comparison. Good, bad isn't even real. It's a humanity created thing. So you're not worthy, you're not unworthy. That's just something humanity created. It's a concept, an ideal that humanity created. You're not lovable, you're not unlovable. You're not good, you're not bad. You're not nice, you're not mean. What even is that? It's all definitions created by humanity. It's all made up, okay? So staying in that isness, that essence, that purity that is beyond definitions, beliefs, boxes, form. And remembering when you go out into the world, people are going to boop, 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 put you in a million little boxes, size you up. That's going to happen. And so staying in that sense of your divine perfection, beyond form, beyond beliefs, beyond judgment, is really important. So, all right, let's go into our exercise. I'm going to close my eyes so I can really tune in, and I invite you to do the same. Sit back, get comfortable, wiggle a little bit, feel your hips. Take a deep breath into your belly, down all the way into your hips. Exhale through your mouth and release any tension, any stress, any tightness. As we go into this, we really want to relax into our bodies. So take a few more nice deep breaths and bring your essence into your body. So bring all of your awareness into your body, and it's almost like you're just laying into yourself, surrendering into yourself, just like surrendering into your body, releasing all tension and stress. So you might start feeling muscles decompressing. And when you feel any tightness, just let those muscles release, let them decompress. Almost like a tire that's been overinflated. Speaking of all that effort, we just settle in and start to decompress more and more and more, feeling your breath and bringing your awareness into your heart center. So feel that breath up and down through your belly. Bring your awareness into your heart. So we're really connecting here, heart and core. And let your heart open, 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 open. And start to harmonize with your heart center, just feeling it. Feeling the essence of your heart, feeling even as the heart beats. Just letting all of your awareness sort of harmonize and meld and merge and connect through your heart center. And from here, I'd like you to bring up whoever in your life is the most difficult, where you have the most conflict. And they could be alive or perhaps they are deceased. Whoever comes to mind where you've had the most conflict, the hardest feelings, somebody you may not want to connect with, where there's still a charge and there's still, we'll call it unresolved emotion. And we're going to welcome them forth from their light realms. So essentially, it's like you, as your source consciousness, as your higher self, are working with their higher self, their pure essence, them as creator. And so as you welcome them forth, just bring them right in front of you. And just notice what you're seeing. You might see their actions and things that created conflict for you. Just notice what the ego is perceiving, because you might notice some things that aren't so pleasant. Notice how they look. And if you don't see anything, that's fine. You can feel into it just as easily. Often when doing these exercises, it's a simple feeling or knowing, sensing, hearing, and sometimes it's visual, so there's no right way. I used to think that when somebody said, "What do you see?" they always meant visual, and it's not. It's all or any of your senses. Now that you're taking a look at them, they're standing right in front of you. You're just kind of taking stock of what this person has been in your life, maybe what the ego has had a problem with. And I say the ego because you, in your source benevolence, you don't have a problem with them. You've never felt harmed or upset. You've never been hurt. The character that you're playing has perceived pain, suffering, hurt, loss. But your true essence, as pure consciousness, has never even been hurt. Nothing could ever be done to you. Nothing could ever be put onto you or taken away from you. And it is truly everlasting perfection. You are that perfection. And so just take stock of what's happening. And then we're going to take a breath and look right through their heart center. It's like we're looking through the human, the actor, right through that portal in the heart that is the portal to all that is their pure source essence. We'll call it the core consciousness of the being. So tune right into that. You can look through it, and I do attempt to kind of look through it, like tuning in almost kind of visually, as well as feeling and sensing. And take a breath here, though, so you're not over-efforting and kind of creating a blockage for your intuition. So take a breath and relax into your body, just relaxing into this, okay? So we're relaxing into our, call it our intuition, our abilities to connect. If we effort too hard, it definitely creates a barrier. And sometimes these types of things are best done when we lay down and relax and go into that kind of more alpha or theta brainwave, but we'll just do this here as an exercise today. So as you tune in through the heart, notice what you see, sense, feel. And it's like you're letting your heart radiate. You are relaxing into your body as your heart opens, expands, and radiates. And now, because you know this is not the person, it's not the character that upset you, you're connecting to another soul, another essence that is pure light, pure love. Let your heart open and radiate right through them, right through their heart center. And just be aware of what you hear, see, feel. And let's go ahead and just ask them if they have anything to share with you. I'm hearing a lot of thank yous. As you see them as their true essence, their true light, the true being, it's like setting them free from the box that you had them in, from the beliefs, from the limitations. And now let's just take a moment as we're here, and I want you to really look at how they served you. How did whatever they did to create conflict, to become a nemesis, somebody that you had struggles with, confrontation, conflict, or you just didn't like to be around, how did their actions, their behaviors, the way they treated you, how did that serve you? Did it cause you to be more independent, to have to love yourself instead of seeking love from somebody else? Perhaps they taught you what not to do. If they were not nice to you, did it give you thick skin? Help you go out into a world that can be kind of harsh? Let's really look at the benefits that came from this. How did it serve you? If you had to be meek and meager, maybe as a child, did it teach you to not get into fights with people? To be quiet, to watch, to listen, to observe? Until you grew into yourself, till you came into your own knowingness? If you had a rough family growing up, did it help you to wake up? You didn't get too comfortable, too spoiled? Things like that. So now that you've looked at some of the benefits, I also want you to look at that person and their human traits, going back to the human character, and notice some beautiful things about them, some things you actually appreciate. And if you did not like this person, or you don't, your ego may have totally suppressed all their beautiful traits. So you might have been looking at things, we'll say, with some bias, kind of one-sidedness. So, maybe they've got a great sense of humor. Maybe if they were always, kind of full of conflicts, maybe it took some of the, we'll say, spotlight off of you. Maybe if, whatever it might be. Let's find some beauty. Maybe they've got a great smile. Maybe they've got a real way about them. Maybe they're good at doing certain things. It's important to find the beauty in everything, and not necessarily positive, negative, but there is beauty in everything. And if you are stuck in the egoic mindset, it does tend to want to look at things one-sidedly. So we're simply looking to balance that out and bring forth some things that might have been suppressed. All right, so now that we have connected with them heart to heart, creator essence to creator essence, seen how it served us, seen the beauty in them, let's go back one more time, right through your heart level. Take a breath into your heart. Let's just come back to it one more time. Let's connect with their true beingness, their higher selves, that pure light. Take the whole person out of it. The personality, male, female, doesn't exist. They're not a male or a female. They're not a mom or a dad or a daughter or a sister or a brother or a priest or a neighbor or a friend. They're pure light beingness. Just come right back through your heart and connect to that one more time. Really connecting with them. Light realms to light realms. Truth to truth. You could say love to love. Notice how that feels in your body, in your heart, in your solar plexus. Take a breath and let the solar plexus release any angst, any old energies that might have been around this relationship. And then take a nice deep breath into your sacral chakra, all the way down into the sacrum and hips. And exhale, sink more deeply into your body. Without any work, any analysis, we're just letting these energies leave because you're recognizing that they were just part of the play of consciousness. And now let's thank this person. Thank you. Honoring them and thanking them for the part they played in our lives. All right. And we can open our eyes. My screensaver was on. Take a deep breath, relaxing into your body. So this is an example, this exercise. There was a very similar exercise done by my facilitator in one of the mastery groups that I was in years ago. And Alette probably knows this exercise, a similar one to let your heart radiate right through the other person's heart level. But I share this as a tool and an example because a lot of the stuff that I've used over the years, I learned from my facilitator. I know most folks here are from Crimson Circle, but I worked with an embodied facilitator who taught us a lot of energy tools, techniques to stay clear in the physical. But it's like something you can play with and make it yours. And so it's like an inspiration, it's like a seed, but then whatever blooms for you as you play with these types of things. But I will say this connection heart to heart is key. It is essence to essence, and it is more powerful. It's probably one of the most powerful things that I can share. And it's something that you could do. I highly recommend, even before the holidays, if you have any angst, anything going on with anyone in your family or friends or whatever you do for the holidays, to go through and do this in the order of person that bothers you the most to the least. And do it with your whole family, because even the people that you get along with, or friends or whatever, but even those that you have a great relationship with, this is like a boost. This is like reaching into someone's heart and turning the light switch on and taking away all of the barriers between you, all these little invisible barriers that we have between us and other people, these belief systems, these boxes, these, putting them into certain roles. So it starts to dissolve that from the inside out, and you'd be surprised how things can shift. And so again, I highly recommend that you try it also in person. Let's say you're sitting around chatting and somebody's talking away and you take a breath and you remember this, you can feel right in through the heart, and you'd be amazed sometimes how the energies would shift in the room or between you two. I've seen crazy magic practicing this and playing with it, and just playing with it in all different ways. So I hope that you'll give it a try. It's very powerful. It's sometimes the things that take the least amount of effort. There wasn't really anything to that. You know what I mean? You don't have to have a conversation at all, really. And even if you ask to be shown, show me the benefits, show me the beauty. You don't really need to get mental and start thinking about it. Things will appear. And the more you go there, the more you practice things like this, the more it's going to be really easy for those answers to come to you. Instead of you trying to go through the mind and think about it, the answers will come to you. So. All right. Well, I encourage you to do this. I did it one year before Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it really shifted the energies for me. Going back to, we're going out of societal norms, and oftentimes it leaves people feeling a little bit odd about us, and then it can create anxiety on our end too. So the biggest thing, I guess, as we connect or we tune into that creator essence is to remember it's just love. It's all love beyond all the acts that we've played out here. So, all right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. 11:11, 5:28. It's pitch dark here in Wisconsin. Holy cow. Coming back to that self-love, let's just wrap around full circle. So the other day I grabbed my notebook, and I was doing this for many mornings. What do you have to share with me? So I was asking myself, sort of like channeling yourself. I don't know if you guys do this a lot, but I highly encourage you're always connecting with yourself. I have a lot of conversations with myself, yes, but really tuning in, getting in touch with that voice, your true voice, that soft, subtle voice that is always going to be kind, always encouraging. It always gives me options, invitations. Hey, Kathy, what about this? Why don't you try that? What about this? What about this? It's never do this or do that. If you hear that, it's coming from the mind. That's the voice of the ego. But, so it's been cold and rainy, and the seasons are shifting, and, it's easy to get sucked into the ego, or the should do's, or the must do's, or the right things to do. And the other day I went for a walk, and it kind of sucked. I went to the forest, and I really kind of didn't want to, but it was like, I haven't walked for so long. I've been in the house. I should go for a walk. I should. The moment I hear the word should, I usually catch it. But, sometimes these things are very subtle and embedded. And sometimes it does serve me to get up and go for a walk. So I went, and it was just, I felt heavy. It felt like it went on forever, and I didn't really enjoy it. And then, so the other day when I was saying, show me, what do you want to share with me today? What are we doing today? Share with me. And there were a number of things that ended up on my list, and it made for an amazing day. And one thing that surprised me was I heard Harry Potter, and I was like, Harry Potter? So I watched the first Harry Potter movie last night, and it was awesome. And just do what feels good to you. There's times we have to walk through fears. We walk out of comfort zones. We make these big quantum leaps, right? As we're listening to our voice, it seems like it's always pushing us out of our comfort zones. But there's times then that the little creature comforts can be so important. So the last few days, I think the last 3 days, all my free time was spent just mostly sitting, breathing in presence, in isness, in stillness. I mean, besides getting up in the morning, my daughter goes to school, I make breakfast, making a little food, maybe cleaning this or that, run to the grocery store, whatever, a few little things like that. She had a couple appointments, but otherwise I spent a few days clearing out all the unnecessary stuff and sitting in my isness, my presence, my breath. Not doing the do, go, achieve, accomplish that the mass consciousness is in, and just really feeling that connection with myself, to where I felt my mind much clearer again after doing a lot of work and stuff lately. It's been kind of busy, so don't hesitate to take time for yourself. And then watching Harry Potter with the fuzzy blanket, I turned the heater on, and it just felt very cozy. So, do what you need to do, as I think we're all in the same, we don't have anybody in Australia here, so, it's getting cooler and it's getting dark out. So if you need to turn the lights on, light candles, make yourself cozy, it's sort of a good balance, as we're always kind of going through these big changes. It's nice to be kind and gentle to yourself, and do things that bring you comfort, to help love yourself. Going back to the self-love. So I hope you guys had a wonderful 11/11, and good luck playing with this exercise. And maybe if anything comes up while you're doing it, it could be a good topic for our call. So I will see you guys next week. All right. Namaste.